So in part 4 of our third day of the Math 20-1 preview, you may notice that it looks a lot like part 3. We're still going to be analyzing quadratic functions to find the vertex, the domain and range, the direction of opening, the axis of symmetry, and the x and y intercepts. The distinction is that now we have that y equals ax squared plus bx plus c form. So instead of having the y equals a x minus p squared plus q vertex form, we're going to have y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So there are some advantages to this form. The direction of opening is completely neutral. We find that by looking purely at the sign of a. It is either positive or negative, and the a in one equation is the same a in the other equation. So it's just as easy in one as the other. Now for the others, the vertex form makes it a little bit easier to find the vertex. Obviously, you can read it off. The domain and range. The domain is always all the real axis in both cases, but the range is going to be relative to q, so that is easier to find in the vertex form. And our axis of symmetry is the vertical line that goes through P. So that is easier in the vertex form. So why would we use general form at all? Well, it's because 9 times out of 10, the most important parts of a quadratic are the x and y intercepts. And those are going to be much easier to find here. The y-intercept is c. We can read that right off of our equation. And then the x-intercepts we can get with the quadratic equation formula that we were introduced to in Math 20-2. So that is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this quadratic equation formula is it's almost like it's custom built around the general form. And in fact, it kind of was. This is exactly how it was calculated. It was starting with this general form. We set it equal to 0, and then we solve for x using a technique called completing the square. Now, we didn't see that derivation in Math 20-2 because completing the square is not a part of the 20-2 curriculum. We will be seeing that in 20-1. So we won't just be using the quadratic equation formula, we will learn how to derive it from scratch. So that is something we have to look forward to.